In 2026, Tajikistan remains a country with one of the strictest levels of state control over religion. External signs of Muslim identity, such as wearing a beard or a hijab, are officially viewed by the authorities as alien traditions and a potential threat to national security. Ordinary religious practice here often becomes a reason for administrative pressure and persecution by the special services. In this episode, we will analyze the case of a practicing Muslim who faced regular interrogations and demands to change his appearance. We will discuss how studying the Arabic language and observing religious rites turn a citizen into an object of interest for the GKNB. Why, in the modern reality of Tajikistan, is the line between faith and an accusation of extremism practically erased? And what role does an expert report on the situation in the country play in protecting such applicants? I base these videos on real cases of people facing persecution in their home countries. We are country witness experts from London, focusing on human rights violations. Today's episode is about a real case we received from a London law firm and prepared by our lead Tajikistan expert. They need objective evidence about the situation in the applicant's country. Our job is to do deep research and prepare a country expert report. This report identifies the real risks if the person returns home. It helps the court understand why the person needs international protection. If you are going through the asylum process in the UK, the US, Canada, or Europe and are looking for a country witness expert, you can find a wide network of highly qualified experts at the Human Rights Experts. The link is in the description. In 2026, Tajikistan maintains its status as one of the most authoritarian states regarding religious freedoms. According to Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, the authorities use the concept of secularism to fully criminalize any Islamic practice not approved by the state. The country has a strict ban on wearing alien clothing, hijabs, and an unspoken ban on long beards, accompanied by mass police raids and the forced shaving of men directly on the streets or in MIA departments. The legislative framework, including amendments to the law on the regulation of traditions, has effectively deprived citizens of the right to private life and freedom of conscience. The state officially restricts the choice of names, bans religious education for children, and imposes massive fines for conducting home rituals. According to USCRF reports, independent religious activity, from studying Arabic to participating in home prayer groups, is automatically classified by the special services as sympathy for extremism. Security agencies, primarily the GKNB, use a system of total monitoring to identify unreliable believers. According to official data, thousands of citizens have been entered into extremist databases based solely on their appearance or contacts. Amid increasing repression following regional terrorist attacks, any practicing Muslim who has come to the attention of the police faces an inevitable risk of torture, long-term detention, and criminal prosecution without real evidence of guilt upon returning to the country. The case of our applicant demonstrates how the private life of a believer in Tajikistan turns into an object of operational control. As a practicing Muslim, he faced systemic pressure from the MIA and GKNB. He was regularly stopped on the streets because of his beard, ordered to shave it, and interrogated about his family's religious beliefs. The fact that he studied Arabic and supported his wife wearing a hijab automatically placed him in the category of suspicious persons who are under increased surveillance as potential extremists. The situation reached a breaking point when the applicant began receiving direct threats of arrest and being put on a watch list. In the context of Tajikistan, such preventative talks and demands to stop any unauthorized religious activity are precursors to a criminal case. Given his profile, a person who has already had negative contact with security forces and studied religion outside of state control, the risk of detention and torture when crossing the border becomes an inevitable reality for him. But before concluding, let me introduce myself. My name is Maxim. I am a country witness expert specializing in human rights violations. I personally also received political asylum. I am the founder of the Human Rights Experts. Since March 2022, we, a team composed of over 20 experts, have been creating expert reports for asylum applicants. Our expertise covers all key regions of the world, including Africa, Asia, Latin America, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East. Our expert reports, similar to the one we discussed today, are regularly commissioned by major law firms to help the court and authorities explain the specific country context of human rights violations in the applicant's country of origin. who are applying for asylum in the US, UK, Canada, and EU countries. If you are in the process of seeking asylum, remember objective evidence confirming the risk of persecution is critically important for your case. Hire an expert witness via the link in the description below. To sum up, this applicant's case is a classic example of the criminalization of faith in Tajikistan. Demands to shave a beard, interrogations about his wife's hijab, and persecution for studying Arabic are part of a documented state strategy to suppress independent Islam. It is important for courts to understand in Tajikistan in 2026 it is impossible to simply follow the law because religious identity itself is already a ground for being registered by the GKNB as a potential extremist. The option of internal relocation is excluded due to the unified database system of the security forces. Returning to the country for a practicing Muslim who has already had negative contact with the authorities will inevitably lead to harsh filtering at the border, interrogations, and a high risk of torture. Thus, the threat of persecution is real and inevitable, making the provision of international protection critically important for preserving the life and freedom of the applicant.